Hello everyone and welcome back to Triangle Strategy. In the last session we completed up chapter 2 and we are about to head into chapter 3 where we are either going to be going to Aesfrost or to Hyzant. And it seems like that's an actual choice that is going to be made, so I don't know if chapter 3 can go pretty differently depending on what you choose. I don't know, I guess we'll see. Let's head on in. We're going to be using these scales that we were given. Gonna see how that mechanic works. Oh, right away, in fact.
It seems your first test as Lord has come. 'Tis no small matter either.
Indeed, but I needn't face it alone. I would ask each of you where you think we should go and why. State your case before the scales of conviction. Then we shall decide our destination.
We take a vote and the consensus determines our action. Is that it?
That is correct. So long as my allies walk by my side, their opinions carry equal weight to mine.
Okay, so it's not just a straight up
Such
choice
is the
that
way
I
of
make.
House Wolford. As Lord, I shall bear the weight of consequence for the scales' decision, whatsoever they may be.
You are more serious than usual, my friend.
He understands what it means to be Lord of his house.
Well, I hope you have room for a stowaway, because I'm going to. In secret, of course. I trust the new Lord Wolford will handle the ponderous negotiations and diplomacy with grace.
Your Highness, you cannot be...
You may stay ashore if you wish, Huet.
She's definitely coming with.
You know I cannot allow that. If you insist on going, then I shall attend you.
Well then, it would seem the matter is settled.
There is exactly one coin for each of us.
How fortuitous.
It seems fate has conspired to bring balance to our proceedings.
How curious.
Curious? I see it as a sign that the heavens approve of my joining you.
You are ever the optimist, my friend.
I'm guessing it's our dialogue choices
Shall we
with everyone
proceed,
that's
my
going
lord?
to...
One coin, one vote.
That's going to influence what way they vote or something?
Very well. I would hear each of your thoughts on the matter in turn. Then you shall place your coin upon the scales of conviction and illuminate the road ahead.
Aesfrost or Hyzant? Would that we had time to visit both. Although I may not have my own token of conviction, it is my duty to lend an ear to their arguments. Oh, wait, we don't even have a token? Oh, I didn't even count... I didn't count how many there were, I just assumed I was included in the 7. Huh. Interesting. So it really is all down to them, and I don't get to influence it at all outside of the choices I've made up until now, I guess? Curious. Curious. An honest exchange of opinions will hopefully lead to a decision that satisfies all who vote. Voting. The path of the story will be determined by the consensus of your party as played out through voting scenes. Each of your allies will cast their vote according to his or her own convictions. As the player, you will be bound by the decision of the majority. Before voting commences, you may attempt to persuade the others to change their minds. Alright. Whether or not your attempt succeeds will only be revealed when the votes are cast. The strength of Serenoa's convictions will affect the chances of success. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. So, well, let's read the last bit, actually. The key to winning over your party is gathering the necessary information beforehand. That information may not always be found in the same room where the votes are cast, so be proactive in talking to everyone you meet on your journey. Well, I certainly have been. I certainly have been. Alright, so the only one who's undecided is... Is that Anna? I'm trying to trying to remember everyone's faces. Is that you? I think that's you, right? Okay, so I need to decide what I want to do. And I don't know. I really don't know. Howdy. Prince Franny and Minister Patriat are waiting to see off our esteemed guests. They said to ask them if you have any questions on the matter. Alright, let's do that. King Regner expects great things of you, Lord Serenoa. If there's anything I can do to be of service, simply say the word. I should like to learn more about Hyzant. I know they lay claim to the source and all the salt. I should like to know more about Frederica's home. I hear the Grand Duchy of Aesfrost is known for its views on freedom. I should like to hear more about Glenbrook. I think I want to go to Aesfrost. I would have thought you an expert on the subject, considering your bride-to-be hails from that very land, but allow me to tell you what I know. Aesfrost is nestled within the snowy mountains to the north, and is famed for its abundance of iron and expertise in smithing. I just noticed Frederica's voting for Hyzant. Frederica does not want to go to Aesfrost, which makes sense, because they're shitty to her there, so that's a nice little touch. They would, it makes sense for the character to be voting that way. The rest of them, I guess we'll hear their reasonings when we speak to them, but I don't really know why the rest of them would vote one way or the other, really. Their elite soldiers, known as the Black Irons, managed to make quite the name for themselves during the Salt Iron War. The nation is led by Archduke Gustadolph, Lady Frederica's older brother, and though he holds most of Aesfrost's political power, he encourages the people to act freely and promotes individuals on the basis of ability rather than blood or social status. I see. That sounds wonderful. I mean, it does sound good, but I'm guessing there's going to be more to it than that. Perhaps it does now, but we mustn't forget they were the very ones who caused the war of 30 years past. They are an ambitious people living in a cold and harsh nation, which makes me think that hunger of theirs is still alive and well. Pray forgive me, I forget myself sometimes. I hope my foolish ramblings have not clouded your judgment. The decision is yours to make, Lord Serenoa, and I am sure you will choose most wisely. Okay. Franny, you dick. Lord Wolfort, I know your position as head of the house comes with many responsibilities, but being party to Roland's fancies is not one of them. I hope you understand that. Roland's doing what he can for the kingdom. Roland may be a prince, but he's also a brother to me. I appreciate your concern and hope that you and I can be friends as well. No, fuck off, Franny. Roland's doing what he can for the kingdom in his own way. Thoughts like that are precisely why he is still so immature. I wish the solution were so simple, but neither the king nor kingdom is perfect. Even so, why would he choose a path that leads to his own suffering? It seems I misjudged you, Prince Franny. You worry a lot more for Roland than I had thought. I don't know if he is worried for Roland, or just worried for, like, the family name or something. Worry? There's no cure for foolishness. Why would I waste my worries on him? Boop, boop, boop. Okay, we can't go any further. Fair enough. Can we go up these ladders? We can, but there is nothing up here. What about the other side? Nothing up here. What about the ladders around here? Oh wait, there aren't any ladders around here. What was it I saw? I thought I saw something that I wanted to... Oh, there, ladder here. Huh? Anything to find? No? Okay. What's the point? What's the point of this then? I don't know. Places to explore, but nothing to find in them. Wait, am I going insane? Did I not just look right here and there weren't ladders? I must be losing my mind. I could have sworn that I just looked and didn't see ladders on this side of the gate. But nothing to be found up either of those either. Alright. So, yeah, I'm gonna argue for Aesfrost. So, first up, you.
Lord Serenoa.
Aesfrost's soldiers are said to be among the strongest in all of Norzelia. However, that is only hearsay. I mean to judge them for myself. I have great interest in seeing how they train. Begin persuasion. I wish to visit the Holy State. No. No, okay. So we don't need to talk to the ones that are going... So that are already wanting to do what we want to do. Oh, no. End persuasion phase? No. I wonder what she votes for. I wonder what Anna votes for if you haven't attempted to persuade her.
Lord Serenoa.
Hyzant's Ministry of Medicine is said to be a beacon of progress in both medicine and... Oh, shit. What was that? In medicine and magic. I believe we could benefit greatly from seeing the fruits of their knowledge with our own eyes. I would like to visit Aesfrost. They will listen at the very least. What interest have you in the Grand Duchy of Aesfrost, my lord? Oh, that last one's just unlocked. Interesting. The top one's Grandeur of Aesfrost City. I would like to visit Frederica's homeland for the sake of our marriage. But the bottom one, their country is built on unfettered trade. Being lord of a mercantile hub, that idea holds great interest for me. Well, this one just unlocked, so I assume this is probably a good one? Because we found the info about it, kind of thing? So I'm going to go with that. Ah, yes, certainly. A fascinating aspect of their society. However, I find Hyzant's claims of universal equality to be even more intriguing. I appreciate your point of view, my lord. There is much I must think over before I reach a final decision.
Certainly not.
Of course, if you have further thoughts on the matter, I would be all too glad to hear them. The Archives. Aesfrost's achievements in ironwork are second to none. Aesfrost's chilling winds more appealing than stifling sands. But this one, knowledge is the foundation of power. We could learn much by wandering the Archives for a spell.
Quite true.
Ah, the Archives, the seat of the world's knowledge. Even the most erudite among us is but a fool before those countless tomes.
I am decided.
You have given me much to consider, my lord. I shall take your perspective into account when making my decision. Benedict appears indifferent to your plea. Well, fuck you. Well, actually, no, not fuck you. He's moved from travel to the Hyzant to undecided, so I guess that's something.
Say.
Doubtless Aesfrost will be a close partner in the days ahead. It would be wise to see how they live, don't you think? Yes.
Listen, lad.
Can't very well say Hyzant holds much appeal to me. Sorsley and Exarm are too clever by half. I'm sure the people of Aesfrost will give a warm reception, even if their weather won't. Sounds good. Right, so both of you are against it.
Lord Serenoa, hello.
Until now, Frederica's position has offered her few chances to visit Hyzant. Deepening your relations with the Holy State would doubtless be to your benefit as well. Why not use this opportunity to let Frederica realize a long-held wish in the meantime? Yeah, you know what? I mean, I've committed now because I've already turned Benedict away from it. But I probably should have thought more about what Frederica wants. And the fact that we're already strengthening ties between us and Aesfrost by having Frederica marry me. So maybe I should attempt to strengthen ties with Hyzant. I was kind of just thinking what sounds more interesting to visit, but if I was thinking, like, as a lord that is trying to unite the various kingdoms, then I probably should have gone Hyzant, but I am just more interested in Aesfrost from what we've heard so far. So, yeah, it is what it is. I want to visit Aesfrost. If your heart is truly set on Aesfrost, I would be curious to know your reasons. The top two, I wish to know more about my betrothed. I find chill preferable to heat. A story I heard of a particularly skilled smuggler caught my attention. They even sent the military after him. I wonder what he could have been peddling. Ah, yes. Although I cannot say if we speak of the same person, I did hear tell of a man that had been caught smuggling salt into Aesfrost.
Indeed.
Curious. I suppose with this joint mining venture before us, such matters would pique your interest.
My mind is made up.
I believe I have more than enough food for thought. She's deep in thought. Move to undecided. I guess they all just move to undecided if you talk to them.
Serenoa.
I have always wondered when I might visit the country where my mother was born. How did she spend her youth? I would very much like to see.
I've got bad news for you. We're going back home, Frederica. Yeah!
You wish to visit Aesfrost? Might I ask why?
I want to see your homeland. I prefer the cold. The people of Hyzant may not be so welcoming as you believe.
No.
Is it because I am a Rosellan? Please, I do not need others to presume upon my feelings. I am proud of the hair my mother gave me, and do not concern myself with the opinions of others.
Okay, so you got the hair from your mum, and your mum is from Hyzant. Interesting, interesting. We still don't know what Rosellan means, really, like why that's a bad thing. Or, it's probably not a bad thing, but why people think it's a bad thing.
You seem to have given quite a bit of thought to this question, Serenoa.
And?
If we do travel to Aesfrost, how would you like to spend our visit?
See, relation between our nations deepened as much for our own marriage as the future. I was hoping you'd show me your home. I want to see a society built by the ambitious. A society free from stifling pomp and circumstance.
Surely.
I see. Aesfrost is indeed unique in that it is not birth that determines your greatness, but ability. I can see why you would be interested in such a place, Serenoa. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with me. I shall consider them as I come to form my own opinion.
Appears indifferent to your plea. Well, we've got 3 in the Aesfrost column, and we've got 4 that are undecided. I've got to imagine that one of those 4 will have been convinced. Wait, I didn't talk to Anna yet.
Lord Serenoa.
Aesfrost or Hyzant, it makes no difference to me. Where you go, I shall follow. Still, I would like to hear your thoughts on the matter, my lord. Aesfrost. They say Aesfrost is the nation of iron and ice. What about it appeals to you?
Frederica's home. My future brother-in-law is Archduke. Mining endeavor. I heard the story of a smuggler pursued by Aesfrost's military. I would like to hear more of the story and what his crimes were to deserve such a grave response.
Indeed.
A smuggler. It must have been a bold crime indeed for us to be speaking of it now. I wonder what he was peddling to risk so much. I too would be interested to hear more of the story. Thank you for sharing, my lord. I see now why you wish to visit Aesfrost. Sick. Alright. Got a strong feeling they're going to do what I want. Commence voting.
It is time to cast our votes. Do we journey to the Grand Duchy of Aesfrost, or the Holy State of Hyzant? Approach the scales of conviction with your token at the ready.
I can't put this part on auto for some reason.
Forgive me, my lord.
My apologies, but I believe there is too much to be gained from visiting the Ministry of Medicine. You fucking bitch! Benedict is the only one where I had to do 2 things, right? I'm pretty sure everyone else I just had to pick 1 dialogue option. And for Benedict, I picked 2 dialogue options, both of which were the secret unlockable one, and they still don't convince him? Fuck you, Benedict.
I am so sorry.
I'm sorry, Serenoa, but I fear if I don't see Hyzant now, I will regret it.
I have no qualms with that.
You made a convincing argument, a desirable attribute in a young lord.
Nice, okay, so I changed Gila's mind. I didn't change my wife's
You have
mind.
my vote.
Well, not wife yet, but one day.
Where my lord goes, I follow.
Big up Anna. Nice. Well, we easily got the votes then. Lovely jubbly.
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen.
Fucking Benedict, fuck you. Frederica, I can't believe it. I can't believe you've betrayed me like this. How could you?
The way forward is decided. We journey to Aesfrost.
Sick. Alright.
We have decided.
Hey, I can
Set
auto it
sail
now.
for Aesfrost. Whether or not it proves to be the right choice will depend on our actions. I trust in you all.
We are ready to set sail, Lord Patriot.
Very good, my lord. When you pay respects to the Archduke, remember that you do so on behalf of our king.
That is very interesting that Chapter 3 can go, like, completely differently.
Archduke Gustadolph will be pleased that you chose to honor our nation with a visit. I'm sure he is eager to get to know his new brother-in-law as well.
The feeling is mutual, I assure you.
Does this mean she is coming back too? I feel myself getting sick already.
Fuck you.
That swill they call wine will taste even more vile now, I fear.
God, I hate those two.
My lady, are you sure you wouldn't prefer to stay at Castle Wolford?
Nonsense. I am coming with you.
If you're sure. If you are sure. Whither the river flows, completed. Save your game. Sure, sure. Put it in a new slot.
Serenoa, acting as King Regnar's envoy, charts a course down the Norzelia River for the Duchy of Aesfrost. Ere long, Serenoa and crew arrive at a massive gate, itself dwarfed by the snow-covered mountains that lie beyond.
Very nice.
Awaiting them at Twins Gate, as it is known, is Svarog Aesfrost, second in power and influence only to the Archduke himself.
Chapter 3, Part 2, A Land of Snow and Ice. I guess that's why it was cut into Part 1 and 2. I was wondering that before. It's because Part 1 is making the choice and then Part 2 is the actual outcome. So it can differ.
Avlora, Erica, Thalas. Welcome home. I trust the ceremony was a fruitful one.
That's interesting. That is his very first line he says, and you're already clued into some relationship dynamics. He likes Avlora and Erica. He does not like Thalas. Why?
'Twas my duty as minister to be present.
Thank you for having us in your domain, Uncle. The crags are lovely as ever.
Lord Svarog, I present to you Lord Serenoa Wolford, come on behalf of King Regnar.
Ah, the Wolfort boy. Frederica's betrothed, yes?
Yes.
The very same, my lord. I thank you for the warm welcome.
The honor is mine, Lord Serenoa. Svarog Aesfrost at your service. I watch over Twins Gate, the front door of our duchy.
Lord Svarog is father to Dragan, and uncle to the Archduke and myself.
We did not expect to see you again so soon, Frederica. But I understand wanting to show off your handsome groom-to-be.
Uncle, please. You embarrass me.
Good to see you're still not afraid to speak your mind. A word of advice, lad. You do well not to anger her.
I shall take your words to heart.
Tis quite the burden you're undertaking, my friend.
Prince Roland, I did not expect you'd be in attendance.
It's been quite some time, Lord Svarog. But today I come as an attendant to House Wolfort.
A secret visit, then. Say no more.
King Regnar thanks Lord Dragan for all he has done for the
Ah, yes,
mining.
very secret when you
His engineering
make your presence
prowess has
known to
proved
the
indispensable.
second most powerful man in the land.
As his boasting has no doubt proved intolerable. Forgive the boy, my lord. That said, rest assured his goals are sincere. He truly does wish to lead us into a new era. I pray you'll lend him the strength to see that it becomes a reality.
You have my word.
You expect great things from him, then?
Against my better instincts, perhaps. But such is my lot as the boy's father. But forgive me. No doubt you are weary from your journey. I shall keep you no longer.
Cheers, bruh.
Archduke Gustadolph awaits you at Ironstone.
Then we shall take our leave. Thank you, Lord Svarog.
He seems nice. I like him so far. We will see how that changes, because who knows who's playing us or what. Bum 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 bum. Is that a face carved into the cliff? Right. Any side quests? Yes, there are, in fact, down there. Doop doopy doop doop doop. Franny and Cordelia talk about their brother Roland in his absence. Pretty room.
Brother, where is Roland? I've yet to see him today.
And you shan't, for he has left. Took it upon himself to join the mission abroad.
He did? I see.
Again, prioritizing his personal wishes above his station. Is there no end to his selfishness?
You haven't any love for him, have you?
Love. I would rather think of him as little as humanly possible.
How can you say that? He's family.
Royal family, and our duty is to the crown above all. Do not look to Roland for inspiration if you wish to carry yourself in a manner befitting your station, dear Cordelia.
Sag. Cordelia seems nice. We haven't seen much of her yet, but she's a hype man for Roland, so that's nice. Right, did anything new spawn after that? I don't know if side quests can spawn other side quests. Does not appear so. Right. House Wolford arrives at Ironstone, where they are greeted by Archduke Gustadolph. Bum 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 bum. Ooh, loving the rivers of lava. That's sick. That is very sick. Ironstone throne room. God damn.
I am Gustadolph, Archduke of Aesfrost. Allow me to personally welcome you to my nation.
Nice fucking cape, mate.
I hear I am addressing the new Lord of House Wolford, yes?
Serenoa Wolford, Your Grace. It is an honor to have an audience with you. On behalf of King Regna and all of Glenbrook, you have our sincere gratitude for your generous contributions to the mining effort.
Consider your gratitude accepted. Avlora informs me that you fought well in the tourney. I would much like to see for myself how the legendary Simon's son carries himself in battle.
I train twice as hard, yet am not half the warrior he is.
It is good that you make such effort. I would expect no less from my brother-in-law to be. Norzelia is changing. The time when matters were settled by blade draws to a close. In the spirit of this age of diplomacy, I would hear your honest thoughts on the mining accord.
Interesting. Not gonna lie, I was expecting this guy to be a bit of a tool, but he seems nice, but I don't know if I trust it. I believe it an important alliance that may bring harmony to our nations. Lucrative enterprise that stands to benefit equally. Cannot shake the fear that our visions do not align and the alliance may not hold. I mean, let's not fucking tempt fate. Let's go with the harmony one.
I believe it an important alliance that may bring harmony to our three nations.
An uninspiring answer. and naive at that.
Well, shit.
Do you truly believe that each of our nations aspires to the same harmony?
And what is it that you aspire to, Your Grace?
Why, peace for all of Norzelia, of course.
Well, that's what I just said. That is what harmony is.
For all its peoples to live as they please. Frederica, do not lose sight of your role in all of this. Stand by Serenoa always, and represent Aesfrost with pride and grace.
I shall, brother.
Prince Roland, as you have come in secret, I will dispense with formalities.
I appreciate the consideration, Your Grace.
That said, does King Regna not worry that his younger son visits a foreign land on his own?
I am no longer a child, and it is a prince's duty to be worldly.
A fine outlook. In that case, I would show you to the archives.
It holds countless tomes, from the ancient to the new. I dare say it rivals that of Hyzant's Ministry of Medicine.
An intriguing offer, and one I gladly accept.
Lord Wolford, you and your men are free to join us as well.
Truly, Your Grace? I understand the archives hold many a closely guarded secret.
And rest assured, I have no intention of giving those away. But now that we are allies, through mining and marriage alike, a brief tour is more than in order.
I don't know. I didn't like his response to me saying we're aiming for harmony. Meanwhile, in the city streets.
Beg your pardon.
Smuggler.
But I heard this is where the salt flows cheap like.
Not here, it doesn't. Go bother someone else.
I'm not asking for my health. Here's an advance.
How much do you need?
As much as you can spare. I'm good for 10 times what I gave you.
I'm not to sell you now. Come back tonight, money in hand, to the spot marked here.
And I know your face, so don't try anything stupid.
You have my word. That looks like the spot on the map. Just there. Right then, Sikris. I've got the location for you. This is where they do their dirty work.
I knew you were the man for the job. Excellent work, Rudolph.
My name's cleared then, yeah? I'll be pardoned?
You have my word. That said, our forces are stretched quite thin this evening. We'll need you to assist in apprehending them as well.
Risk my life in exchange for a pardon? Are you mad?
We need you. These fiends are swindling the poor, selling them impure salt mixed with all manner of unsavory things. They must be jailed at all costs.
Fine. I'll help you bring him in.
Glad to hear it. You're too good a man to be branded a criminal.
Don't you flatter me after all this. You saw him, didn't you? They don't work alone. An operation like this ain't run by one man. And last I checked, we're only 2.
We'll assemble reinforcements.
Interesting. So the smuggler's working with the law in Aesfrost to bring down these people. These salt dealers.
What an astounding collection of tomes.
The sum of Norzelia's knowledge, including volumes thought lost or banned outright in other nations.
I did not expect to see so many people in a facility so important.
Each and every one is a scholar, conducting important research in their field of expertise.
Scholars? All of them? Brother gives no thought to background, gender, or social status during the selection process. All in Aesfrost are given equal opportunity, provided they show desire and aptitude.
Of course, we prize ability above all else. So long as they produce results, they are free to research as they please.
Most open-minded approach.
Indeed.
I see now how Aesfrost arrives at its marvels of engineering.
This portion contains the collected writings on metallurgy and our nation's rich history with iron. Our ancestors were but a tribe of impoverished hunters until the man who would become our first Archduke discovered iron. Iron changed our lives. It transformed the way we worked, farmed, built, and fought. The history of iron is the history of Aesfrost. It is our pride and joy, the engine that drives us.
My father told us that Aesfrost is made of iron. That neither its people nor weapons would bend.
Just so, Prince Roland.
Your Grace. Forgive me the interruption. I have unfortunate news regarding the issue of which we spoke.
Oh, they're gonna draft us in to help. I see.
So you require reinforcements. Say no more.
Then there was the matter of the pardon.
On which my thinking has not changed. We will speak no more of this.
Understood.
Honored guests, I would
Is he fucking the dude
on
over?
an important matter.
Sounds
This
like
is
he's
Sickles,
declining it.
Commander of Aesfrost's Constabulary.
Has something happened?
We have discovered an illicit salt trade operating within our borders. Yet we lack, at the moment, the manpower to address it. Might we have your assistance in apprehending the scofflaws?
Don't you have a fucking army?
Why, I would...
Lord Serenoa, matters of salt are fraught. I advise you not to engage without a clear strategy.
I understand it is a complex issue. Needless to say, I would not force this upon you.
Sounds simple to me. Just bringing some criminals to justice, yeah? I say aye, my lord.
I concur. What better way to thank His Grace for a tour of the archives?
Great tour. Walked in the room, said a couple words, told us to go fight criminals.
We shall help you.
I could not be more thankful. Sicris, brief our friends on the situation.
Of course, Your Grace. Come, I shall show you to the garrison.
Alright, well, this is going to go interestingly, I'm sure. Let's see. Constable Sicris, in charge of maintaining the peace, has a secret matter to discuss with you. Any side quests? New. Bum 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 bum.
I'm honored to have House Wolford fight at our side.
As I am happy to be of service. Now then, what is the situation?
Hyzant's excessive salt taxes have given rise to an illicit salt trade that plagues the duchy.
I have heard tell that the tariffs are exorbitant, but I've not heard a price.
Let it suffice to say that the cost of a single handful of salt could feed a family for a month.
Good heavens.
As such, demand for salt, even impure or stolen, is nigh on infinite.
A crime, to be sure, but a necessary evil for the poor. Tight regulation risks drawing their ire.
Perhaps we should not have agreed to this so readily.
Indeed, the Archduke has a sharp mind and a silver tongue.
My brother may appear generous and open-minded, but one should never feel too safe around him.
I was too eager, my lord. for that, I apologize.
I was the one who agreed. Fraught as the matter is, I could not refuse the Archduke to his face.
Illicit salt trade would threaten the salt revenue on which the duchy depends. Thus, they feel they must intervene, correct?
Precisely. We understand the plight of the people without question. On matters of maintaining order, however, we cannot waver, lest seams in the social fabric be rent asunder.
Hate to tear seams in the social fabric. What a fucking posh way of saying that.
To reiterate that you have our support. How would you employ us?
Our spy has already discovered where the smugglers operate. A transaction is to occur tonight. We shall make a move once our spy lures the smugglers into the open.
Understood. Then we shall familiarize ourselves with the town by nightfall.
Alrighty, so we're going to be walking around, investigating the town, and then going into battle, I would assume.